sun that you've been given. Let your light shine in this life that you are living. No matter where you go or what you do, I'm always here with you. I'll never abandon you, leave you, or forsake you.
Real people, real stories, real talk. With your host, Hard Rock Jarvis.
All right, what's going on, beautiful people? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to the Hard Rock Real Talk podcast. That's right, y'all. Today, I'm going to talk about hope and having hope and not giving up on hope, because today in this world, there's a lot of shit that can go down. There's a lot of things that can come test you. There's a lot of things that get at you. People want to get on your case, you know. It seems like you don't have a lot of support from a lot of people, family and friends. So what are you supposed to do, man? I mean, most times it feels like I'm alone in this world. Yeah, I got friends on Facebook and followers on TikTok and whatnot, but I don't interact with a whole lot of people. You know, I go to my job and I come home. I don't party, I don't go out. Mostly because I can't afford it these days. So that's why I want to get into just talking about having hope, all right? Because I'm gonna let you all into my life a little bit. See, as a child, at 4 years old, I was sexually molested by my babysitter, who was a female. Not that that makes any difference, whatever, because male and female are both sick people when they do things to children, right? And that's a lot of stuff what's going on in this world today, and I hope a lot of them suckers, motherfuckers get caught and hung for all I care. But anyways, yo, that led me down a path, a road, a not very good road of sexual promiscuity at a very young age. Like, understand, I was 4 years old when this happened, okay? And as a child, when you're introduced to that stuff at a very young age, it fucking burns in your memory. I mean, you know, you don't get those things out of your head very easily. And according to Google, psychologically means in a way that affects the mind or realizes the emotional state of a person. In a way that affects the mind or realizes the emotional state of a person. Now just take a minute and try to understand what that means. Psychologically affects your mentality, your emotional state, the way you think, all right? So when you're introduced to sex at a very young age, that's going to imprint a staining memory on your brain, and it's going to play a major part in the way you think about things, the way you go about life, all right? Because at that very young age, I just looked at women, girls, as sexual objects. I mean, a lot of people ain't gonna relate to this or even understand or even believe me, but I don't care, because God, the universe, spirit knows what happened to me, knows my truth, and they know what happened to me because they were there, right? I mean, I tend to think that maybe I was supposed to go through it to work out the karma that I may have had in a past life, or just to be able to talk about things and to just try to hope and bring healing to somebody who may need it, right? Who've been through the same situation. But growing up, I was always just seeking pleasure in the female and sex, because that's all I knew, right? It fucked me right up, yo. And life hasn't been easy. But I did get healing. It was a long journey, but I did get some healing. So that's why I can talk about it, right? Because I'm not ashamed of it. It wasn't per se my fault. It was just something that I had to experience and go through. But it did really mess me up. So, growing up, yeah, as a teenager, I had a lot of sexual partners, and it's not something I'm proud of. You know, a lot of people brag about having a lot of partners, and yeah, I've been with this one and that one. And at one point, I used to keep track of how many women that I did sleep with, because, you know, in my 20s, it was something that thought I was proud of. But looking back now, it was all just messed up, and it was the way that I was brought up because of my childhood, right? Like, I don't even want to tell you how many partners I had, because most of y'all probably wouldn't even believe me anyways. So now I'm not even opening up old wounds. So fuck it, we're moving on. Just know I had too many, way too many. And saying that, in my 20s, I got married, you know, thinking that if I was with one woman, that would help, and that I could be committed to one woman. I tried. I really did try. And ultimately, I ended up cheating because it was something inside of me that was not healed. All right, it had nothing to do with my wife. She was beautiful, you know. At the time, she did treat me good before we had children. Saying that, the type of guy I am, and being brought up like in church and religiously, I believe, you know, in confessing your sins and telling the truth. So I told my wife that I cheated on her. I only told her one time, but, you know, it was many times. I used to work in a bar, and I used to, you know, bring girls down to the weight room during my shift. I used to go up to girls' rooms during my shift. It was not a good scene. But anyways, ultimately, I did tell my wife that I cheated on her, hoping that, you know, she would forgive me and that we could get past it and move on. But it didn't go that way. She had a lot of resentment against me, and ultimately she didn't forgive me. So we ended up breaking up after 3 children, and whatever, she moved on. She had some issues, and I sought healing. You know, I did seek help. It wasn't something that I was just trying to not get through or deal with. You know, I sought out SAA, believe it or not. They have a Sex Anonymous, which I didn't know at the time, but they do have one. And I went to, years ago, I went to this one session, talk, sit down, whatever you want to call it. And genuinely, I was going for help. But during the session and everybody talking, you know, there was women in the class and just sharing stories. And my mind just started thinking like, who could I take home that day, you know? It wasn't the healing that I was going there for. It was just almost like a hookup spot to meet girls. And that's not what I was going there for. So I think I went to that place, that one particular one, twice. It just wasn't working. So, you know, moving on, prayed, sought God, sought Jesus, being brought up in church, you know, getting prayed for, asking the pastor. I remember this one church I went to, I asked the pastor, I went up to the front and I said, can you pray for me, because, you know, I have a sex addiction. And his reply, and it stunned me at first, but ultimately I thank him now, But his reply at the time was, pray for yourself. And I was offended at the time because I thought, this guy's supposed to be the pastor and he's supposed to be the head over the flock and whatnot and in charge of this body of Christ. So he should be praying for me. And that kind of led me down a different path and I sought out, spiritual teachings and spiritual work other than religious work. And that's ultimately where my healing came from, is seeking God in the spirit and not through man. Because ultimately the healing has to come from you. It only can come from you, and you can only heal yourself. So anybody who's struggling with any addictions, alcohol, drugs, sex, even stealing, you know what I mean? Anyone who's struggling with addictions, any type of addictions, just know there's hope, okay, people? Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always hope. So anyways, getting back to the whole my addiction and sexual addiction, how it just fucked up me with my first wife. I moved on, I had 3 children, single dad, struggling, seeking help from the government, for support. There was this thing called Rent Assist, okay? They make you jump through all these hoops, fill out all these forms, and do all this stuff. I think it took maybe even a month to go through the whole process of everything. And at the end of it, they gave me like $48. And this is supposed to be rent assistance. $48. Couldn't even put food in or gas in my tank, whatever, couldn't even, it was ridiculous. The government, don't trust the government, don't rely on the government, because they're only there to help themselves. They just put up this front like they're for the people, but they ain't for the people, and that's why change needs to happen. All right? So, also, no support for men, being a single dad. I tried to get child support, but my ex was always constantly jumping around, moving around, using different aliases, whatnot. But come on, you guys, you're the government, you should be able to track her down. So one time, I gave him the address, her employment, and did, all their hoops, bent over backwards, jumped through this hoop, walked that plank, did the straight line, touched my nose, turn around, do the hokey pokey, all that bullshit that they want you to do. And they come back to me and said she wasn't home at the time. And that was it. No pursuit, no tracker down, no help for the man in a single dad situation to get child support. So the whole reason I'm bringing that up is now because, through my sex addiction and whatever, I got married a second time, which was a bad mistake, because people, and I know a lot of people do this, they cheat on their spouse with someone, and then they end up leaving their spouse for the one they cheated with. All right? Bad mistake. Don't ever do that. I did that, and it was a bad mistake. This one turned out to be abusive, striking me, hitting me, and calling the cops on me, kicking me out, wouldn't let me take my children out of the house that we were living in. It was a total bad situation, guys. Bad. Anyway, leading up to my next relationship, which was years later, and again, just going on this healing journey to try to heal myself, because I wasn't looking at women the way I should be looking at women, or the way I wanted to look at women, okay? I was just looking at women as sexual objects. And again, it goes way back to what happened to me. I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to explain how I developed into the person that I was, because now I am healed. Praise be. So yeah, my next relationship was with a girl that I dated in high school, way back when. We ended up getting together. 4 years later, 5 years later, we had a child. I still fully wasn't healed. Told my partner at the time, my son's mom, what I was going through. You know, she's in the Native community or Native culture, so she did sweat lodges and ceremonial healings to heal herself, which I don't think really worked because she's still bitter and comes at me with all kind of bullshit. But anyways, I went to Sweat Lodge 2 times, and I really got the healing through there. Okay, and this is another thing that the church, the religious system, will look and frown upon and say that it's, you know, devil or demonic, and make you fearful of it, because I was. And I, you know, at first I didn't want to go, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go because I believe in God, and I'm not gonna have fear because I've been through too much. So I need to experience something different other than the church, because this pastor doesn't even want to pray for me. So anyways, I went to a sweat lodge. Sweat meaning I got a spirit name. It was a wonderful experience, and I highly suggest it to anyone who's seeking healing. It was really a spiritual experience, healing and awakening. So bringing up my past and everything with this new relationship, when we had a child, and how I was, you know, sex addicted, and still had those feelings because they still came, right? Because the person I was with, the partner I was with at the time, she wasn't healthy. She's better now, thank God. So I was thinking, you know, of sex and getting it elsewhere. So I told her that I had to leave the situation, that I needed to be on my own just to seek healing. I had to be away from everybody, because I was having just not good thoughts about too many things. And I told her, and it was hard. We broke down, we cried, held each other, and we parted ways. But we still kept in touch because we have a child, obviously, right? So anyways, again, while on my own, still seeking healing, you know, I would have sex with other girls. She got bent out of shape, even though we weren't together. Anyway, just causing all kind of drama, bringing shit into my life. I mean, you know, just chaos. People just chaos. That's why I'm alone now, and that's why that's why I'm not even seeking a relationship, because it's just too much drama involved. So anyways, coming to my point, and just having hope and not giving up, because now, all right, I'm struggling. I'm a single dad. I'm behind in everything. When we parted ways, she had a car payment. She asked me if I could continue to pay for her car payment, and I said yes, right? Because mostly for child support, but it was to help pay for her car because she couldn't work, whatever. All right, so I kept up for a year, maybe as much as I could. Then I started falling behind. You know, I told her that I could not pay this full amount because I am struggling and I need to pay for things myself, right? So in turn, she tells me her mom already paid for her car, so that car's already paid off, which she didn't even tell me or make me aware of, just still collecting my money that I can't afford. Okay, whatever. Point being, when she told me that, I told her, well, obviously I can't afford to pay you the amount you want, so I have to cut it down. She said, how much? I told her this amount. That was good for a little bit. I slipped because, you know, I have to pay car, I have to pay rent, I have to try to put food in my house for my son that lives with me still. Hydro, gas, you know the drill, people. All this shit that we shouldn't even be paying for because of free energy, but because, again, like this government, they just want to up your ass. Anyway, I started falling behind on the payments. She was upset, even though her truck was already paid off. All right, but so I started giving her $75, $50, whatever. All pissed off. Other things were involved, but basically she's like, I don't want your $50. I don't want your measly $50. So, okay, obviously, if you don't want my measly $50, then you must not need it. So, good. I'll put it towards something I could use, right? Obviously, our child is not suffering that much if you don't need what I can afford to give you. So basically, I got these court papers yesterday, child support, and pay this much amount, starting on the 1st, which is today, okay, and my rent is not paid, my car payment is behind, and bills are up my ass, and there's barely any food in my house, people. But okay, just listen. That's just this, my whole point is just having hope. Okay, I'm not I'm not trying to just get into this slump, because I'm a positive guy and I believe in positivity, and I believe that better days will come, right? If you just hold on to hope and just keep pushing, right? You can't give up. Never give up. So basically, story goes, I was supposed to pay today. I don't know what's gonna happen. Judge, whatever. You know, the system is always geared towards the women. I'm not saying anything to put any women down, but that's how it is. The system's geared towards the women. I know many guys who lapsed and fell behind on payments. Government comes in to their job, garnishes their wages, suspends their license. Like, how are you even fucking supposed to get to work if you suspend your license? It's ridiculous the way the system is geared towards women. All right, and I told y'all before, I jumped through all their hoops and whatnot, being a single dad, trying to get child support from my ex. No help. Oh, one little effort. We couldn't find her. That's it. No effort for me, the single dad, right, who's struggling. But anytime the woman's in need, here we are, yep, to the rescue. What do you need? No problem, we'll go after that son of a bitch. You'll get everything you deserve because he's just a motherfucker. It's fucking ridiculous the way the system works, and it's geared to not help men. Like I said, addictions, right? Sex addictions, no help. Little class, no support, no real help from there. The next class I went to, the other different years later, was one guy there who was hosting the class. So it was me and him sitting there, right? I went to that twice. No, not going back to that. It's just ridiculous. This may be a vent and maybe a little bit of a rant, but I just gotta hold on, and I gotta not give up, because I motherfucking feel like giving up, people. I feel like doing some real criminality, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Because fuck, man, how is a guy supposed to get ahead in this world? Really? Like I said, it's no point. Anyways, I can just hold on, meditate tonight, release all this stress, all the bullshit, try to get some sleep, because I gotta go to work again. Probably have to get a second job or something like that, if I can even do that, because of the time factor, and then I will have no time to spend with my children, my child. But you think she cares? No, as long as the money's coming. Like, just no sympathy people have. It People, if you're in a position to be a good person, don't be an asshole, okay? You know in your mind if you're a fucking being a jerk to someone or not. You know it. I'm encouraging you, please try to change that, all right? You need to flip the script, you need to change it around, and you need to try to be a better person, because this world needs better people, all right? There's just too many people just backstabbing each other. Spreading lies and rumors. That's a motherfucker. Those lies, those rumors. Anyone who know me what I've been through this last year, and how I was actually, in a good relationship. Opened up to this woman. Opened my heart after being broken so many times. Opened my heart up. Hoping that, this could be the one that I could build a future with. And build on dreams, because we talked about a lot of things. We were going to do big things, people. And because of people's lies, deception, whatever the case may be, man, people just been fucking me my whole life. So that's why I'm just trying to be a positive guy and just not give up, man. People, you can't give up. Because I fucking feel like I just try to make some music to spread some love into this fucking dark world that is full of hate and envy. I'm a patient guy. Very patient. But I feel like I can't hold on no more. But here I am talking about hope and just not giving up. And this is some real shit, man. This is real talk. And that's why I called it that. Because I'm not holding nothing back. And I hope that someone sees this who needs it, who truly feels like giving up sometimes. Hold on, man. Hold on, girl. Hold on, child who's been molested. Hold on, child who's been left out in the cold. And the child care system, I'm not even going to talk too much about that, because I'll probably get fucking banned off YouTube again, because anytime you start bringing the realness, they just cut you down. Hold on, person. Hold on. Don't give up, man. Please don't take your life. I seen... Please, just think about things.
Hold on to the hope, my son, that you've been given. Let your light shine in this life that you are living. No matter where you go or what you do, I'm always there with you. I'll never abandon you, leave you, or forsake you.
Whew. All right, people. Had to catch myself there. Anyways, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Hard Rock Real Talk podcast. And just to remind y'all, don't give up, man. There's gotta be something to hold on to, right? There's always gotta be a better day. It's coming, it's coming. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring for me. I don't know when the government's coming after me, because I ain't gonna be able to pay all the shit that they're demanding, right? I can't do it. But I don't know. Pray for me, people. Bless up. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Hard Rock Real Talk. One love.
This has been a 777 production. This has been a 777 production.